Okay, hi guys, I'm live. I'm gonna do a rig rundown now. Somebody wanted me to do one, and I said I would. So here goes. I didn't plan any of this, but let's just do a rig rundown. So I'm gonna flip the camera away from myself, and I'll try to give you guys the best I can here. Okay, let's start with hmm. Let's start with my guitars. Okay. Now, this is my 7-string fan fret guitar. It's an Ibanez. I'm not even sure what someone asked me what the model number is on it. I'm not even sure. It had a paper on it when I bought it, but I didn't keep it, and I don't even know what the model number is. I just know I really dig it. That's one of the things I know. I don't just know that, but it's got 7 strings. It's got fan frets, which I love, and I just love this guitar. I mean, it's not my main guitar, but it's right up there. I really like it. It's black, which is cool. And since I'm doing a rig rundown, the bridge is interesting because let me explain this. This screw right here, these screws right here adjust what would be the intonation, because if you screw it one way, it shortens the length of the string, and it'll change the intonation one way. If you put it back, it'll lengthen the length of the string, and that'll change the intonation another way. And the way to test intonation is you fret a note at the 12th fret, and then you harmonic a note at the 12th fret. I'm not doing it very well here, and they should be the same. And if they are, then your intonation is right. If one of them is sharp or flat, then you move this screw in or out to make the string shorter or longer to make those the same. If I had 3 hands, I could show you how close they are, but they're not bad. I can't really do it without with holding the phone. So there's that. And then now these little pieces right here control how the action, how high the string is above the neck, and you can twist it clockwise with an Allen wrench to make it higher. Counterclockwise makes it lower toward the neck. And I like, for some dumb reason, I like the bass strings higher off the fretboard than the treble strings. The treble strings I like really close to the fret. Like, I want the action to be low. But on the bass string, I want the action a little higher. I don't know, maybe people would think it's the other way around, like I would want the bass strings closer to even it out, but I don't. If the bass strings are too close, I don't feel like I'm thumping it enough, or it doesn't feel like I'm whacking the string good enough. I like it higher. But on the high strings, I don't want to work my fingers so much. I don't want to have to push down really hard. I want to push down really lightly on these high strings, and then I want it closer to the neck, to the neck, which is called low action, whereas I like higher action on the bass string. I don't know what to say. These pickups don't have adjustable pole piece screws. They're just all in there the way they are, and it's got pickup selector switch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 positions. I'm not sure exactly what that technically is here, but whatever. And then this is the tone, and this is the volume. And it has 24 frets, by the way. That's mandatory. I don't play guitars that don't have 24 frets. If it only has 21, 22, or 29, I don't like it. Unless it's an acoustic, which I'll live with, only having. And I like my acoustic Blackie because it has 18 frets, and 18 is 6 plus 6 plus 6. And that's 666 plus I was born on 12/6/66. So there's that. Okay, that's my first guitar I'm showing. Of course, I didn't even play it, but and then I'm going to show now my next. I'm not trying to make these in any particular order, but this guitar, this is actually my number 1 guitar right here. It's my black Gem Junior. I don't know, black is a good guitar color for me for guitars. I've been as Gem Junior. Let me give you the whammy bar here. I love the Gem Juniors because, for one thing, the whammy bar screws in, which is good. So so it can't come off when you're playing. LOL. Yet it spins really good and doesn't come unwound when you spin it. It stays. It doesn't unscrew itself, which is cool. I've almost forgotten that I used to do the whammy bar like this. I got to do that more often in my videos now. I forgot that I did that. Now that I'm showing you this, I just remembered. 24 frets, of course, 6 strings. I love the flower inlays. They called Tree of Life inlay. Monkey grip, and I actually used my monkey grip. I was very disappointed with Steve Vai when he never even used his monkey grip. He just did on the video stand up on a solo, and it would look really cool, and then he just never used it again much, and I like using it. I mean, what's the use of having it if you're not going to use it? Whatever, he's Steve Vai, can do what he wants. 5-position selector switch for the pickups, tone, volume. Now I got to tell you guys about this stuff. I mean, it's a lot to talk about here, but you know, it's a rig rundown. What do you want? All right, let's do this. These right here control the action. So if you screw it clockwise, it brings the action down, which means the strings get closer to the neck. If you turn it counterclockwise, it brings the action up, which means the strings are further from the neck, and then it has one here and one here. They both control the action, or the height of the strings above the fretboard. And again, I like the low strings higher up and the high strings closer to the neck. Then these things control the intonation. And now I'm giving you guys tricks here. I hope you guys appreciate this. What I've found for Ibanez guitars with whammy bars is that all you got to do to get it right is put it on the further back of the 2 positions here. There's a screw, if you can screw in here or here. And if you put it all of them aligned on the back one, and just put it against it. Don't even try to Mickey with it any further than that. It's perfectly intonated on an Ibanez guitar. I'm just telling you that's take it or leave it, but that's how it is. If you put it closer to this one here, it'll be way out. If you put it back here, it's perfect. And just set them all to the second one, or the one further back, and then just line them up, and then that's perfect intonation. You can tell, again, like I said before, it's the harmonic versus the note on the 12th fret. It should be the equal pitch. So that there's that. Then you tune the guitar, of course, regularly here, but then you lock it here. This is a locking nut, and then you tune it here with micro tuners. Now, what's important? I bet you a lot of guitar players may miss this. This is where you screw you cut the string ball off and put it in here, and then you screw it tight here, and that clamps it into here and keeps it. But you should adjust that as the guitar. Keep tightening it over time, because they'll loosen, and then you'll find yourself, if you don't tighten them regularly, going out of tune or even slipping off, and just the string comes out. You want to make sure these stay tight. I tighten them like every day almost. I just tighten those, so make sure and don't tighten them so hard they smash the string, but get them in really tight. Okay, I'm sorry if this sounds boring, but this is a rig rundown. The middle pickup doesn't have any adjustable pole pot screws, but these 2 humbuckers on the neck and on the bridge do. Now here is what you do. These little things get controlled by Allen wrenches. If you turn it clockwise, it pushes it down. If you turn it counterclockwise, it pulls it up. And if you pull it up, it makes that string louder than it is if you put it down. If you put it down, it's quieter than if you put it up. What you do is you put the outer strings down so that they are quieter, and then as you go to the mid-range strings, you move it up so it makes them louder. That way it makes like an arch, like the arch of the radius of the neck. That's just what works. And if you and so you're making the middle strings more louder than the top and bottom. It just works that way. I don't know. You could do the opposite, or you could make them even, but that's what I do. And I did it with all. And you got to do them here and here for this pickup, and here for that pickup. And they're double coil, so they both affect it. And just do that. So that's cool. Anything else about the guitar itself? It has a string tree thing here that kind of clamp helps it stay in tune a little better. I like the cool. This is cut out so you can go up with the whammy bar. By up, I mean make the strings higher in pitch, and lets it go as far as you really could want to go. I make mine so they can go up a fourth. Perfect fourth, 5 frets. So there's that. I'm not a professional rig rundown dude, but this is what I'm doing. I'm doing my best here. Oh, and I got to tell you this feature, dude. I almost forgot. When you plug the guitar in, it angles up. So it's really hard to it's hard to unplug it by mistake because it's angled up. That way when you're playing, and I'll just show you. When you plug it in, it's angled up like this, so it's not likely that you'll unplug it while you're playing, which is genius. Steve did a great job making these. I'm not even sure he used all the features. Well, yeah, he did. He's Steve Vai. He's all right. But it just keeps it in there better, and I really like that. So, and then so that's my number 1 guitar. I think tie for number 2 is between. This is my pink Jim Jr. This one is my number 2, tied with my 7-string, but they're both probably a tie for my second favorite guitar. I can't decide if it's number 2 or 3, which is which. Same like the other guitar, only this one's pink. I tuned the pink one and the black one to E standard. Not E flat or D or F, just tuned to E. So that works. However, this is my 4th favorite guitar, if you count the others 2 and 3, is my white Jim Jr., which I tuned to E flat. That way, if I'm learning a song in E flat or I want a special thing that's in E flat, I can have E flat. So 2 of my Jims Juniors are E, and 1 is E flat. Okay. I said I'd do a rig rundown. Those are my main guitars, but you wanted to see everything. This is an old dumb Ibanez RG Prestige, It's not as advanced as the Jim Juniors, and I don't like it that much, but whatever. It's 24 frets, maple fingerboard. I haven't even done the pole pots very good. I don't even clean it. I don't clean any of them really, but I kind of do. I just don't want them to really be bad. The whammy bar slips out really easily. I don't like that about it. Let me just show you the whammy bar, if I can find it even. It's right here. The whammy bar is in very weakly. Not weakly as in time-wise, but weak as in not strong. It just comes in and out. I don't like that. It can fall out when I'm playing, which is totally ridiculous. So there's that. Interesting thing. Yeah, well, that is a guitar I have. I wouldn't mind if I didn't own it anymore, but whatever. I do. Oh, and then there's the truss rod I didn't explain, but I'm not a guitar tech, but I could have showed you the truss rod a little better, maybe. You guys want to hear that? Well, why not? Why not? It's a rig rundown, right? You may only hear this once, at least for me. The truss rod is a cool thing. Let me show you. Let me get the Allen wrench that has it. I'm not gonna. Well, see right here, you put this Allen wrench in, and if you go that direction, so from here to here, it makes the high strings closer to the neck, as in low action, and take 2. When you go like that, it makes the strings on the upper register closer to the neck, and makes the strings on the lower register further from the neck. In other words, it makes low action on the high frets and high action on the bottom frets. That's if you go that way. If you go that way, it does the opposite. It makes the low action on the low frets and raises the action on the high frets. I usually like action to be low on the top frets and high on the bottom frets, because it's when you're high, I don't mean by drugs. When you're on the high frets, you want to go faster a lot of the time, and it's good to have lower action. Whereas in the low frets, you're mainly worried about tone and phrasing and harmonics, and it's good to have the action a little higher so you can bite it, grab the string and bite into it better. So the way I like to do it more is that way, because it makes the action higher here and lower here, whereas if you go that way, it makes the action lower here and higher here, which I don't like. So I'm always turning them that way, this way, not that way when I do them. So anyway, that's just me, and that's what I found over my experience playing guitar and working on, working on them, but adjusting them just for myself. I'm not a guitar tech for anybody else. Okay, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guitars in this room. Good enough for now. No, not good enough. You guys want a total rig rundown, right? That's what you want. That's what you said, and that's what I said I would do. And I may not do this again, so here it is. I'm taking this out of the case because it is in a case. In my Harvey Mudd days, I would have been very guarded about a lot of what I know and about guitar and music and everything, but I'm not, because I'm free with you guys. I just tell you guys everything. I wasn't like that in college, but I'm like that with guitar, and I'm like that now. This is my Jackson Soloist Purple Phase. It's an all right guitar, but what's interesting about it is it only has 5 strings on it, because I made it that way. And guess what? I tuned it in fifths. So this low string is tuned to C. The 5th string, that's the 6th string, is tuned to C. 5th string is to G. 4th string is D. 2nd string is A, and the high string is E. So C, G, D, A, E. The first bottom 4, C, G, D, A, is a viola or mandola. The top 4, G, D, A, E, is a mandolin or violin. It's a 5-string mandolin, violin, or mandola, mandolin. Sorry. It's a 5-string viola, violin, or mandola, mandolin combination. It's all tuned in fifths. And you don't need, the high string is not needed. So it's like a violin guitar, dude. It's just like, violin, viola guitar, or mandolin, mandola guitar. It's tuned in fifths for special effect. I don't know. Sometimes I like that. I don't know if I'm going to play it for you as is, like that or not. But where's the whammy bar to it? I would like. I'm just going to see if I can find the whammy bar for it. Sorry about that. Let me just see if I can find that. If I'm going to play it, I'd like to have the whammy bar to it. And the whammy bar should be floating around my floor somewhere. So let me see if I can find it. It could be this guy. Yeah, this is the whammy bar for it, I think. Is that the guy? Yeah, that works. Yeah, so it's got a pretty good, is that even screwing on? It's got a pretty good whammy bar to it. It's tuned in fifths. And, Seymour Duncan pickups. I almost forgot to say that, but I didn't, so that's a good thing. Seymour Duncan pickups, Floyd Rose tremolo, Jackson. Oh, it's got like no fret, very minimal fret markers, so it looks cool. It looks like you know what you're doing on the guitar because you can barely see the fret markers, but then again, it's harder to play a little bit because of that, but I don't mind. I know where I'm at usually on the guitar neck, but not always, but it's nice but it looks cool to have very little marking on there. So that's in the case. This one is, for some reason, I have this one in the case, and in case I play it, maybe I should, in case I play it, that's another use of the word case in this situation, I might leave it out in case I dabble on it for you guys in this rig rundown, because this is a rig rundown. Okay, now my amp. I have lots of amps. I have like 5 or something, and I'm not going to go on about all of them. I'm going to talk about the one I use the most and like the most, which is the one I'm going to show you right now. So let me take it so that it's not sitting on its own chords. I don't like to do that. Amps can sit on their own chords, and I don't like that. They tend to want to do that, kind of for me, but I don't want them to. So I don't like the idea of amps weight on the chords. This is the only amp I use anymore if I really want to sound good and want to do a video. It's a Marshall DSL-20. It's a tube amp. It's the only tube amp I own. It's the only tube amp I don't know if I'm not saying I've never owned another one. I'm not really sure. I don't want to say that, but it's the only one I own right now, at least. That's the power. The middle position on the output, the middle one is standby, which means no power. If you go this way, it's low power, standby, high power. and this is just on and off. Right now it's off, that's why it's not lit. I don't mean lit by drugs, I mean lit, lighting up the light. Reverb, and you might see, I'll put it how I like it. I mean, even though I'm not playing it right this second, I'll put it like I do a lot of the time when I play. Reverb, I like not that much, but some, a little, sometimes just a little. Resonance, all the way up. Presence, all the way up. Bass, more down. Middle, even more down than that. And treble, higher than both. That's about what I like. I like the more bass than middle, but more treble than bass or middle. Or I should say, I could say more bass than middle, but more treble than bass. Would make more mathematical sense. Tone shift. I'd have to figure out what that means myself. I don't even know what I do with that. I'll have to, maybe I'll figure that out with you guys on this rig rundown. It has 2 channels. One is ultra gain, one is classic gain. The ultra gain is more power, classic gain is less. It's like clean channel, dirty channel, kind of. It has gain and volume, gain and volume. I always keep the gain all the way up, almost always. But I keep the volume only as loud as I need it. That's what I do. Channel select right here, but you can also use the foot switch for that. Foot switch has channel select also, and FX loop. I'm not that high tech. I don't use FX loop. I'm not Joe, Joe equipment dude. I don't even have an FX loop. But channel on and off can be on the foot switch, which also plugs in on the back right here. That's the foot switch. If I even have this right. Well, let's just look. Well, I said you guys wanted a rig rundown, dude. I mean, I'm only gonna do this like this. It's not really my thing to do. This is where the foot switch. Oh, excuse me. Foot switch plugs in here. This is my effects loop, which I'm just now seeing myself. Maybe that's what you do. That's weird. Maybe I'll figure that out one day. Like figure out what that is, and then I have the foot switch to turn that on and off. And maybe that's something I'll work on now that maybe I did this rig rundown, and that'll help me because now maybe I know what I'm doing. This says loudspeakers. I don't use that because I'm not playing stadiums yet. This is just for my speaker. But that's for loudspeakers. That's a good amp. This is the plug-in for the power cord. And I'm learning as I go with you guys, because that effects loop might mean something to me sometime. I might figure out what that is all about. Audio in, emulated out. I don't know. I love this amp. It was not for free. Believe me. It was a few pennies. Okay. It's a few dollars as well. It wasn't just a few pennies only. It was a bunch of pennies and not quite as many dollars, but a bunch. Okay, now, I see you guys wanted a rig rundown. I keep each guitar with a whammy bar nearby. What I don't do is leave a guitar sitting there with the whammy bar in it like that, because you can pick it up and jam it against the ground and it'll wreck the whole bridge for life. You'll never get it back. And I always keep them the whammy bars unplugged but near where they are so I can plug them in. Of course, the 7-string slanted frets or fan frets doesn't have a whammy bar, but hey, nothing's perfect. But yeah, I love that guitar anyway, and it would have a hard time having a whammy bar with all the things it has about it. It's good that it doesn't actually. All right, now I may not play for you guys on this. I may just you guys want to hear me play. It's a playing video. This is just a rig rundown, so maybe I don't have to do any playing. This is my favorite pedal. It's my Digitech whammy pedal. Digitech. It says it right here. Digitech, and it's a whammy pedal. I probably don't know as much about this as I probably could, but it tells you there. It says classic and chords. I always put it on classic. The chords is way above my pay grade, kind of. I don't know. And I do it right here. You can put it on dive bomb, which makes it go totally slack downward. That's what dive bomb means. 2 octaves down, 1 octave down, a fifth down, a fourth down, a second down, fourth up, fifth up, octave up, or 2 octaves up. And then when you and then you turn it on by plugging, hitting this button, and that red light will go on, meaning that it's on. And over here's the chord part. I don't know what that is. I'm lost. I'm lost on that. Of course, this is harmony. This is whammy. I do the whammy, and shallow, deep. I'm not even sure what that is, but I'm on this side when I do it. And you adjust it with this little thing right here. This little knob controls it to go to sec. If you go clockwise, it goes down to here. If you go counterclockwise, it goes back up to here. And what I found about the way the pedal, if it's on, it will actually change the pitch depending on where you have the pedal set. Like you can, it's like a wah pedal. A wah pedal, except a wah pedal affects the tone. A whammy pedal affects the pitch. It's like a pitch wah instead of a tone modulator. It's a pitch modulator. And if you put it down like that or something, it'll be a different pitch than if you leave it up and then play also. It's not just moving it, it's where you're at with it. It's like it should be that way. If it's all the way up, it's just natural. But as you push it down, it goes into the effect of whatever setting you have. And then if you move it back and forth with your foot, it'll go up and back and forth between normal pitch and whatever pitch you have it set for. So it's a nice pedal. I love this pedal. It was also a few pennies for me. Anyway, now I'm light on effects. I don't know what you guys think. I don't know what anybody thinks, but I'm not a big effect person. Like, oh my gosh, I have to have 30 or 50 pedals. I have 3. Can you believe that? And first that basically that get any use at all. No, I don't. I have 4. Plus I have 5. I have the whammy pedal. So I have 5 pedals to my name. That was my favorite. This is my second favorite. This is my rat distortion pedal, which I hardly use anymore because I love my distortions on my amp good enough that it's good enough. But this is an original Proco Rat. It's not a Turbo Rat. It's not a Rat 2. It's the original Rat. It's the best distortion pedal ever made. I bought it in 1988. It's got distortion, filter, and volume. If I ever need distortion and I don't have it on my amp, that's the deal. Then I have a chromatic tuner. I don't want to go into it. It just, tunes the guitar. Fair enough. It's by Boss. I'm not. You know what? I'll talk about tuning in a minute, or will I talk about it now? I'll talk about it now since I'm right there on the topic. All right, I'll talk about tuning for me. I don't need to bring a guitar up, but I will just for fun. When you're tuning a guitar, to me, I like Eric Johnson's approach. He mentioned it on his video, The Fine Art of Guitar. The middle strings, right here, should tune to whatever pitch you really want. So if you're tuning to E standard, this one should be D and this one should be G. But the B and the E should be slightly sharp. Then this should be slightly sharp. No, I mean, this one should be slightly higher than a B should be, and this one even more higher than an E should be. In other words, the treble string should be a little sharp. The middle string should be right on, and then the bass strings, the A string should be a little flatter than it should be, and the E string should be even flatter than that. So in other words, the bass strings are a little flat than they should be, and the treble strings are a little sharp than they should be, and the middle strings are right on. So it works. I don't know. It just works for me and for Eric. I like it. If I tune them all flat to just the pitch, I don't like that way it sounds. But if you tune the treble strings a little sharp than they should be, and the bass strings a little flatter than they should be, it sounds good. So these tuners aren't the end all be all for me, because all they really do is make sure I'm tuned to standard pitch, which if I'm playing by myself is almost meaningless, except that I do like to be basically tuned to E in the middle strings on the guitar at least. And if I'm playing with a keyboard like Matt Orator's keyboard, then not only do I have to be in pitch, but then I can't do the Eric Johnson trick, because then my treble strings will be out of tune with his keyboard, and then my bass strings will be out of tune with his keyboard, and so it's more of a got to be in tune situation. But so then in that case, the chromatic tuner comes more into play. But when I'm just jamming myself, I like the treble strings higher, sharper than they should be, and the bass strings flatter than they should be. I like it better. Fourth pedal I have is a digital delay. Not going to go on about it. You guys know what a digital delay is. I hope. I think. Maybe I do. Maybe I don't. It has delay time, feedback time, level, and mode. I don't know. I just play with it till I like the way it sounds. If I use it. I don't know. You tell me. I don't know. I just do whatever. And then my fifth pedal is a compression sustainer. I do like this pedal sometimes. It's not a distortion pedal, but it's a compressor sustainer. It has level, tone, attack, and sustain. And these three, the tuner, the delay, and the chromatic compression sustainer, are all Boss pickups. And by the way, somebody commented that because I stutter, they think I just make shit up. Well, I don't plan my words, but just because I'm stuttering at my words, or stammering is more like it, well, whatever, doesn't mean in my book, and I'm telling you because I'm me, I should know, that I'm making things up. I just sometimes don't speak it right out. Maybe if somebody wants to think I'm making that up and psychoanalyze me, well, good luck with that, because I'm probably harder to analyze than the average bear, but whatever. Think what you want, whoever said that, but whatever. Not. I just, what I'm stuttering. So he's Joe Freud here, and can tell me if my birth mother did this or that because of my stutter. Okay, well, maybe, I don't know. I'm not that simple, but whatever. So anyway, I plug everything into a power strip. That way if there's a shock to the system, it doesn't wreck my whatever's plugged into it. In other words, I don't plug straight into the wall, because then if there's a shock, it can damage your equipment. So always use a nice. In fact, I use a nice one. A surge protector is what it's called. Surges aren't good, and you can't control it. You can't control when you're going to have a surge or not, and it's not good for your equipment if it's on during a surge. So I use a surge protector. Anything else? Here's my Whammy pedal again. I'm going to put it back where it was. Am I supposed to play? You guys hear me play. You guys hear me play when I play. I don't think I need to show off for you. Like, here's my toys. Let me I use live wire cables. They're not the most expensive, but then again, why do I want to pay $50 for a cable? They're a nice price, and they seem to have a lifetime warranty, which means if they go bad, you just take one in and get a new one. So what's wrong with that? It sounds good to me, and it's still, I don't care if it's the most expensive pedal in the world. Let me show you what chords I have. I use two. I use two longer ones. So let me find those. Let me find them. Where's my other one? I see. Okay, I use two 25-footers. This is one of them, and this is the other one. Why see both ends of it? Oh, it's plugged into the amp. Duh. Yeah, so this 25-footer stays plugged into the amp. This one is I also have, and then I have also live wire a 3-footer, 3-foot one, and that's because if I'm using an effect, I need two long cords, because one goes from the effect into the amp, and one goes from the guitar into the effect. So that takes two long cords. But if I'm using two effects, then I need a little cord to go between the two effects, another cord to go between the last effect in the chain and the amp, and another cord to go from my guitar to the first pedal in the chain right here. And then this little one connects the two effects, and then this one goes from this effect to the amp. So I have, just in case I use even one or even two effects, I have enough chords to handle it. And I don't have tons and tons of chords laying around, like, oh my gosh, I just have 50 of them. Just two big ones, two long ones, I should say, 25-foot, and one little short 3-foot is enough for me. Okay, this is my Hendrix chord. It's got it plugs into one of the straight chords like this. If you use it, let me see. It plugs into this like this, and then has a curliness to it, and then it goes into the amp or whatever. I tried it to get a Hendrix hum, but all it did in my current setup is make it have a lot of noise. And people are saying, "What's that noise?" And as soon as I unplugged the Hendrix cord, it went away. So I don't need it. I don't like it. But I can't say I didn't try. But it just makes too much noise, and it's all it does. It just makes noise, and Hendrix, just being noisy doesn't make it sound like Jimi Hendrix, at least not obviously, or maybe even at all. So did I do my whole rig rundown? Something tells me, well, I have a bag of Allen wrenches. You got to have that. All sizes, the whole deal. You got to have, I use 2 screwdrivers. One's normal, one's little. I use Ernie Ball Prodigy 2.0mm picks. They're about $2 a pop, maybe a little higher. They're like $13 for 6 of them. And I gotta do my strings if I do picks, don't I? If I can find a pack here to show you literally. I may just have to tell you. I don't see it. I use Ernie Ball 9 to 42 gauge strings. From 9 is the high E, and then 42 is the low E. And then if it's a 7-string, I use the Ernie Ball 7-string guitar with a 10 being the high E, and then goes down lower. They don't make 7-string guitar sets with a high E of 9mm. They only do 10 as the lowest. So for 6-string, I use Ernie Ball 9 to 42. For 7-string, I use Ernie Ball 10s to however low it goes for the 7-string. So that's the strings I use. I've tried all kinds of other things and don't like them. I've tried other picks, don't like them. That's what I like. Did I leave anything out? Because this may be. Oh, I don't use the most expensive straps. I don't care as long as it looks cool a little bit and goes around my neck and is adjustable. I don't care if it's leather with gold plate. I don't care. I just use a strap that looks halfway decent and works as a strap. Anything else? For transportation, I have some soft cases. I've got a couple hard cases. I'm the hardest case of all, LOL. No, just kidding. I don't have a guitar stand for every guitar, so for some of them I just have them carefully against the wall. But for others, I do have them on a guitar stand. And anything else? I didn't mention one more thing that I probably should mention, and I almost forgot, but I didn't. That's what counts. There's also, besides the pole pot screws on the pickups, there's also the pickup height. How close to the strings or how far from the strings the pickups are. That's the pickup height. Don't ask me why, unless you don't want me to answer, because I don't really know. But I like the humbuckers, both to be high up, close to the strings, but not so close it gets in the way or gets caught or frets out the strings. But I like the humbuckers high up, closer to the strings, and I like the middle pickup, the single coil pickup, way away from the strings, way close to the pick guard. It's barely up. I just like it that way. If you look at it on the side, you'll see, if you maybe see how the middle pickup is way down, but the humbuckers are way up. That's how I like it. It just is. I just find that it's best for me, for the best tone. Set this one very low, very close to the pick guard. Set these higher up, closer to the strings. Not too close, but closer. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed the rig rundown. Love you guys. Peace. Rock and roll.